Hey guys, welcome to my channel, welcome back. Today is gonna be a special video because I wanna show you what's behind the scenes in my YouTube setup and how you can do this from your house or from your YouTube setup or from wherever you're shooting your videos. And we're gonna go from a boring setup such as this one to this. Hope you're gonna like it. We're gonna break down the setup part by part so you can see exactly how it's gonna go. All right, so the first thing we're gonna look into is the key light, the main light. This is the light that's going to light me up and that's going to give the main source of light for the shot. So this is the huge key light. Now, I say huge, but the truth is that you have an Aputure 120D Mark II. This is the light that I normally use to shoot all my videos on YouTube. You don't necessarily need to have such a strong light. You can have something smaller, such as the Amaran 100D that came out recently. D stands for daylight, by the way, so this is only going to be 5,600 Kelvin. That means daylight. And I shoot all of my videos with the main key light with daylight. All right? Then we have this huge box here, which is called a soft box. The purpose of a softbox is to break the light and diffuse it in a way that is not too harsh. Because if you turn on that light on my face, A, I'm not going to see anything anymore, and B, it's going to be really harsh, like the sunlight, basically. So we want to make the light a bigger point so that it's not as harsh. Now you're going to see that there's several things. So let's see if the cameraman here can show this. But inside over there, you can see there's a first diffusion that will start diffusing the light. Then you have a second diffusion right here, which is a huge, big panel, 90 centimeters wide of diameter. And this big, huge fabric here is going to diffuse the light. So that's the first thing that I will need when I'm doing my videos. The second thing is this thing here called a grid or honeycomb, but this side is more a grid. So I'm going to turn it on. The purpose of this grid is to direct the light where you want it to go. The reason is if I don't put a grid, the light is going to spill like a liquid. It's going to go everywhere, all over the ceiling, the floor, the walls, and it's going to not go where I want it to go. By putting this grid, I'm going to set a mood wherein the light is going to be contained within this sphere, this area right here, which is where I'm going to record my video. All right, so this is the key light. You will notice that I'm using a C-stand, which is basically this tripod. This is a very fancy tripod, but you don't need to have such a fancy tripod. You can use a tripod that goes up from 30, 40 bucks up, and as long as it holds your light and it doesn't fall down, then you're good to go. Now that we saw the key light, we're gonna go onto the fill light. So this light right here that I'm using here is a neon or a tube light, as we call them. The purpose of such a light is to fill the areas that have shadows on your face. So you have to know that this light here is going to lit up the side of my face, but for the other side of the face, you will want to have something that will open those shadows. So this is the light that I'm personally using. Now you can use any type of light. It can be a square, a flat, long, a panel, any type of light that will give you that opening of the shadows. So that's the second light, light number 2. All right, then we have this light here. This is a hair light or a silhouette light or however you want to call it, but the purpose of this light is to detach my body from the background. So when you turn it on, like so, what's going to happen is you will see around my hair, the shoulders, and this part of the body right here, and you will be able to see the difference between the background and the person who's talking, which is also great because it will put the attention of whoever's watching your video onto you and not onto something else that's happening around. So this light right now is an Aputure light, it's a little one. Again, this can be any sort of light as long as it's powerful enough to give the results that you want. You will have to test around a little bit based on what camera you have, what setup, and so on and so forth, but there you go, that's light number 3. Last but not least, we have the mood lights or the practical lights. You can call them however you want, but the purpose of these lights, in this case, I have this light bulb right here, and by the way, I did a review of this light bulb. It's an IKEA light, it's very basic. You can check up here, it's on my IKEA Everything channel, go check it out. And there's another one right here, I'm going to show you. It's the same one. And this what it does is that it gives a mood, a feel to your shot. Same for those LEDs that I put up there and that I put down here on my desk. So this is going to fill the rest of the shot so that it's not just dark in the background, but you have some sort of light. This can be really literally anything. It doesn't need to have some important quality of light. It doesn't have to be expensive. It can be really any practical lighting. There, so that's the setup. That's what I use, and that's how you transform your setup into something that makes sense. One thing to not use is neon lights. Right there. These guys, they're really bad because they're going to give you green, magenta, different tints. The wavelength they use, I don't want to go into technical specs and so forth, but they're really bad. So just avoid using those and use lights that say CRI 95+, which stands for Color Reproduction Index 95 and more. That means that the reproduction of the colors that you will see on your videos are going to be really good, and they're going to be very authentic and very much like real life. Alright, so before I finish this video, the next one is going to be about the camera settings. That is also another very important thing that you need to learn, but there's a little extra that I want to add here, and it's the microphone. The audio is as important as the light, as important as the quality of your camera. It is really important. So having a good mic will make the whole difference. Now, don't use the audio of your camera. Use an external microphone. In this case, I have a Rode VideoMic Pro Plus, which is connected or on a stand. This is a tripod for microphones, a very basic K&M tripod. So nothing fancy about this. Then I bought an extension cable to be able to plug it into the camera. And that way, when I'm sitting, you don't see the mic. It's just at the limit here, but it will allow you to have a good audio, and people will be able to hear you, and it's going to be way more interesting than having a bad audio that comes straight from your camera. There, that's the end of this video. I hope you enjoyed it. I hope I answered some of your questions. If not, write it down in the comment section below. I'll answer all of your questions gladly. Don't forget to subscribe and to like if you like this video, and I see you in my next one. Take care, keep shooting, keep smiling, and I see you soon. Bye.